Have you ever truly considered the concept of time? Not the ticking of a clock or the turning of a day, but deep time. An ocean of time so vast that our entire lives are less than a single drop. What if you had a machine, a vessel, that could sail that ocean? What if you could leave the familiar shores of the present and journey into the unknown? Where would you go? Perhaps 100 years into the future, to see the marvels of technology our grandchildren will build. Or maybe 1,000 years, to see how our great cities have transformed, how history has judged us. But that's too small. Let's be bolder. Let's set the dial for a journey so profound, it strains the very limits of our imagination. We are not going 1,000, or even 100,000 years. We are going 1 billion years into the future. As our vessel hurtles through the millennia, what would we even expect to find? What would our home, our planet Earth, look like? Would most of its surface be a raging inferno, a hellscape covered in vast continent-sized volcanoes, the air choked with ash and sulfur? Or would the pendulum have swung the other way? Would it be frozen in ice, a silent, glittering snowball Earth, its life trapped beneath a sheet of ice miles thick? What if you traveled even further than you ever intended? Imagine, thousand years into the future. Would you arrive to find a dead, dry husk? Would all of the mighty oceans, the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, have evaporated, boiled away by a relentless sun, leaving behind nothing but globe-spanning salt flats? Or would it have become one giant global water world, a new Genesis where the only land is the memory of mountains long since drowned? And then, the most important question of all, the one that echoes in the heart of our time machine. Now, what about us? Would there be any humans left? Would anyone be there to greet our return? Or would they have done what we only dream of? Would they have settled in other parts of the galaxy, their new homes orbiting distant alien suns, having left their cradle long ago? Let's face it, as we prepare to step out 1 billion years from now, the chances of any humans being around to greet you when you arrive are pretty low. Unimaginably, painfully low. Why? Because the path from our time to theirs is a gauntlet. Several key existential threats face the human race, and if we want to be around in 1 billion years, we'll need to endure them all. It's not a matter of surviving one. We must survive all of them, one after another, for an eon. We've seen, in our own time, how much we've struggled to come together just to survive a single global pandemic. We saw our divisions, our failures in cooperation. That was a test. And we barely passed. So how do we have any chance of enduring the true giants? The relentless, grinding threats of climate change, which isn't just one storm, but a permanent hostile shift in our world. The crushing pressure of overpopulation and the resource wars that will inevitably follow. The hair-trigger threat of global nuclear war. A self-imposed apocalypse that could end our story in an afternoon. And what about the threats from outside? The killer asteroids and comets, silent hunters in the dark, one of which will eventually have our name on it. The natural ice ages, which come like clockwork, burying our civilizations under a mile of ice. And the one, final, inescapable threat, the sun getting a lot hotter, our own star, our life-giver, slowly, inevitably turning into our executioner. The list is long and our track record is short. Well, let's take a look into the future and find out. Let's set the dial for our first stop. Our first jump is a modest one, to the year 10,000 AD. We're going to run into a big problem right away, a familiar ghost in the machine. It's called the decamillennium bug. In the year 10,000 AD, any of our legacy software that might still be running, perhaps in an old archive or a forgotten satellite, won't encode dates with more than 4 decimals. It cannot process the 5th digit. Remember Y2K? The panic, the fear that planes would fall from the sky and banks would collapse? Yeah, it's just like that, a digital cliff. Except, hopefully, 10,000 years of progress means we won't panic as much this time around. Perhaps it's just a quaint problem for history students. But look around. On the bright side, in these 10,000 years, something beautiful has happened. Genetic differences and traits between humans will no longer be regional. The ancient divides, the superficial labels we obsessed over, they've blurred into oblivion. After millennia of global migration and intermingling, traits like skin and hair color will be evenly distributed around the world. The very concept of race as we know it might be meaningless. It's a truly globalized, blended humanity. Maybe, just maybe, that will help us all get along, finally. Let's push forward. 20,000 years into the future. The world looks similar. The coastlines are a bit different but recognizable. But the people, if we try to speak to them, there is silence. None of the current languages, not one, will be recognizable. Think about it. We struggle to understand our own language from just 600 years ago. Now multiply that by 30. Future languages will only contain, at most, 1% of the core vocabulary words of their present-day counterparts. Words like love, sky, human, all will be lost, replaced by sounds and concepts we cannot fathom. We would be ghosts, unable to speak, unable to understand our own descendants. Now we make a bigger jump. 50,000 years in the future. As we arrive, the air is different. It's cold, pure and bitingly cold. This will mark a new glacial period for the Earth. The great orbital cycles, the Milankovitch cycles, have clicked into place. A new ice age has begun. The great northern cities, New York, London, Berlin, are gone. Not destroyed, but entombed, buried beneath thousands of feet of advancing ice. And the great wonders of our world, Niagara Falls, that colossal thundering monument of natural power, will have eroded into Lake Erie completely. The relentless power of water has finally won, and the falls are just gone. And interestingly, something more subtle has changed. A full day on Earth will also increase by 1 second at this point in time. The moon's constant gentle tug on our oceans, a gravitational brake, has slowly, imperceptibly, slowed our spin. It's a tiny change, but it's a profound reminder. The planet itself is aging. Still, so much more time for activities. Let's thaw out and move on. 250,000 years into the future. We've set our machine for the Hawaiian archipelago. We're looking for a new site. And there it is. The Loihi volcano, which in our time was just a seamount, a secret of the deep, will have finally risen above the water. After 250,000 years of steady eruptions, it has breached the surface to form a brand new, steaming black sand island in Hawaii. A reminder that even in the deep future, the Earth is still alive, still creating. But creation has a dark twin. We jump again, 500,000 years into the future, and here, the odds have run out. The long, quiet peace of the cosmos has been broken. It is likely that by this time, an asteroid with a diameter greater than 1 kilometer, 0.62 miles, will hit Earth. This isn't the dinosaur killer, not yet. But it's a civilization killer. Unless we in our future become masters of planetary defense, unless we can prevent it, the impact will be catastrophic. The resulting crater will be no less than 400 kilometers, 248 miles, across. It will unleash energy equivalent to millions of nuclear bombs. It will start fires all over the planet and inject so much debris into the atmosphere that the air itself will become unbreathable, and the sun will be blotted out for years. So there's something to look forward to. And in case that's not enough, in case the heavens don't strike us, the Earth itself will. Sometime around this period, we'll likely have another supervolcano eruption, a Toba-level event, an eruption large enough to spew out 3,200 cubic kilometers, 720 cubic miles, of ash. It would produce enough lava to fill 75% of the Grand Canyon. This would be similar to the Toba eruption that almost wiped out humanity 70,000 years ago, plunging the world into a volcanic winter lasting decades. And look, up in the sky. Oh, and the nearby star Betelgeuse. That red giant in Orion's shoulder. It will have exploded into a supernova by this time. For weeks, maybe months, it will be visible from Earth even during the daytime. A second brilliant sun in the sky. A glorious, beautiful, and silent celestial funeral. After all this, fire, ice, and ash, could humanity possibly have survived? Perhaps. But not all of us, not here. By this time, it's plausible that humanity will have settlements throughout the solar system. Domed cities on Mars, floating habitats in the clouds of Venus, outposts on the moons of Jupiter. This also means that if these populations on different planets have remained separate for hundreds of thousands of years, if they've been isolated, humans may have evolved. They may have become other species, each adapted to their specific world, Taller, thinner humans on low-gravity Mars. Perhaps robust, compact humans adapted to life in spinning colonies. Are they still human? Or have we simply become the common ancestor to a new branching of intelligent life? The numbers on our dial become meaningless. We are now pushing into true deep time, 10,000 years into the future. The very map of the world is being redrawn. A huge part of Eastern Africa, the cradle of our species, will break off, forming a new ocean basin. The Great Rift Valley will become a new sea. In 50 million years, the continental dance continues. Africa will collide with Eurasia, closing off the Mediterranean Sea entirely. The Sea of Empires, gone. In its place, a new mountain range will form between the two landmasses, thrusting rock up into the sky. This mountain range may include a mountain taller than Mount Everest. In space, Mars will collide with its moon, Phobos. The tiny moon's orbit will finally decay, and it will be ripped apart, resulting in it developing a ring system like Saturn's. A temporary glittering crown for the red planet. And back on Earth, the mountains we knew as ancient, the Canadian and American Rockies, will have been ground down, eroded entirely, returned to sand. All the Hawaiian Islands, even the new one we saw born, will be below the water. Their journey from fire to sea complete. And the dice will roll again. An asteroid similar to the one that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago will likely hit Earth. One that is 10 kilometers, 6.2 meters wide. Planetary reset button. By 250 million years, all of Earth's continents will be fused together, the dance complete. They will merge like Pangea, except this time it will be called Pangea Ultima, a single vast and harsh supercontinent. But don't get too attached to it, because in 500 million years the cycle begins anew. Pangea Ultima will separate again, 100 to 600 million years in the future. A new, terrifying threat from the cosmos. A gamma-ray burst will likely occur within 6,500 light-years from Earth. A nearby star collapses, focusing its death throw into a beam of immense, deadly radiation. If it strikes Earth, it could damage the ozone layer beyond repair and trigger a mass extinction, sterilizing the surface. And look up. The moon. It will be so far from Earth, its slow drift continues, that total solar eclipses will no longer be possible. The perfect magical alignment of our time, gone forever, and now the final act. The sun's increasing luminosity, the inevitable aging of our star, will have raised temperatures on Earth so much that it could halt plate tectonics movement. The planet's skin seizes up. The carbon cycle, the planet's thermostat, breaks. Carbon dioxide, CO2 levels will drop dramatically as it's baked into the rock. And with no CO2, photosynthesis will no longer be possible. The very foundation of complex life crumbles. Plants die. Free oxygen, O2, and ozone, O3, will disappear from the atmosphere. And with it, complex life on Earth. All of it will die, and finally, our destination, 1 billion years. The sun's luminosity will have increased by 10%, a catastrophic change. The average temperature on Earth will be 47 degree, 117 degree A. This isn't a heat wave. It's the new permanent average. Our atmosphere will feel like a damp, suffocating greenhouse. And our oceans, the birthplace of life, will evaporate. They will boil away into space, leaving just pockets of hypersaline, boiling water at each of the poles. The planet's last tears. When you arrive here in your time machine, be mentally prepared, step out, and take in a planet Earth that looks nothing like the one you remember. It is a sterile reddish-brown globe, shrouded in a thick, wet, hot fog. The human race will be gone, a forgotten memory on a world that can no longer support even a blade of grass. Our only hope is that we are indeed living our best life on some other far-off planet, having seen this coming. Because of the intense heat, the total lack of water, and the lack of breathable air, Earth will be uninhabitable. So you probably shouldn't stay too long. Your machine is the only refuge here. Instead, you should head out. Power up the drive. It's time to see the rest of the solar system. But you'll find your fellow humans there, on a terraformed Mars or on a moon of Saturn. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll find some other form of intelligent life that rose and fell in the billion years we missed.